I'm Jenny-Jaymes and my sidekick, Christian Cano, partner in crime, is coming up next.
Hey everyone, I'm Jim's sidekick. Welcome to Two Queers in a Truck. Hi y'all.
See you soon.
Good morning, everybody. It is Two Queers in the Truck time, and we're here to give you a dose of queerness right now because we probably use the sunshine, but I'm gonna stick to what I said last week, and for y'all that are gonna probably watch that episode today, in real time, and you will hear this next week. Is elections come and go, and I don't fear what the idiots of this planet have in store for us because I know we always overcome. The good thing is Trump and Vance are stupider than fuck, and they are so incompetent, and they're so much like the Keystone Cops. It's like a comedy sketch. I mean, they're comedy gold.
Yeah,
they can't even elect a Speaker of the House when they have a strong majority of like 20 seats. Like they couldn't hardly do it with McCarthy. They couldn't do it with the masturbation weirdo. They've got the weirdest and kookiest people in power right now. So the great thing is, and in fact, the first segment's going to be me just laughing at them. Luckily, the dumb fucks nominated just an absolute idiot with Mark Robinson. He went down in flames yesterday and just got blown out. Yeah. And it goes to show a couple things. I've got a couple things. First of all, it was one of the lowest presidential turnouts in a long time. There was 18 million less votes cast this year than in 2020. Whatever you want to blame it on, whether it was voter suppression, voter intimidation, apathy, fatigue, it's probably a little all, but probably a little misogyny. I've said for a long time, America's going to have a gay male president before it's going to have a woman. It's just the way it is. America is very misogynistic. We know it's misogynistic. The Archie Bunker, women belong in the kitchen mentality still hasn't left. You heard a lot of that rhetoric in the election, even to the point where we were telling women, your husband doesn't have to know that you're voting. And so I just don't think we're there yet as a society. We, again, I've always said we're the hillbillies of the planet. And I think we proved it this year. We ensconced our status is the planetary trailer park. And honestly, all you could really do is laugh because electing Trump and Vance, these two chuckle fucks, Trump back into office after his clown show the first time of his pure incompetence, and J.D. Vance, which is a dumber version of Pence, like just as about as gay, but definitely way more incompetent. A junior senator from Ohio that's not even finished one term, that has no real leadership experience. He supposedly wrote a book. I think it was ghostwritten for him. I think somebody helped him with the big words, just like they did with Trump. And The Art of the Deal was ghostwritten for him, and all he did was put his name on it. I don't think either one of these people are a threat in many ways. I think their own parties at odds with them, and I think the fight inside the Republican Party is going to be ultimately their demise. I don't think they're going to get much done in 4 years.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Which is the good news, because in Trump
Yeah.
term one,
Mhm.
he really didn't do anything consequential other than the Supreme Court nominations. I think
Yeah.
that is going to be, but the oldest member of the SCOTUS is a hardcore conservative in Clarence Thomas. So it'd be just them replacing the same spot they've had for since he was a Papa Bush appointee. So it's not, oh, but in great news in North Carolina, we elected Jeff Jackson as Attorney General.
Exactly. Amen.
We elected a sane person to the Secretary of Education
Yep.
with Mo Green, and Josh Stein as governor. And I believe Hunt's still got
Yeah.
quite a bit of a lead. She's probably going to be the lieutenant governor elect.
Yep.
So we're going to have that tiebreaker in the Senate when things get tight, and we're still going to have the veto power. We're still going to have an attorney general that's competent and sane. We're nobody wanted Bathroom Dan is an attorney general. He's a problematic at best. I think all in all, and we still, the House is still hasn't been decided, the National House of Representatives. So, we could win the House. We lost the Senate last night, which was to be expected. We knew Manchin was not going to get reelected in West Virginia. He went up against a very formal Republican, and obviously the Democrats probably didn't vote for him. He picked the Republican side multiple times while he was in his last term as senator, and was a thorn in Biden's side. So it's kind of justice. So I think, all in all, yeah, of course, I'm not pumped to have Trump back as president, but I mean, the jokes will write themselves. We'll get to see 4 more years of him cramping himself and making a fool of himself, and him bumbling around talking about, drinking UV rays and bleach, and we'll have RFK as some kind of medical czar, which should be very interesting because he's an attorney by trade. So don't know how that works, but here we go. Strap in, kiddies. We're gonna have a full ride of stupid and conspiracy theories for 4 years. But I think it's just like his original cabinet all quit. The majority of his cabinet quit in the first year because they realize even his wife doesn't like him. Like, this guy buried his first wife in one of his sleazy golf motels in New Jersey.
I know.
Not even a cemetery, just in part of his golf course, which is just amazing. So it's like something from the movies. But like Dumb and Dumber, not Goodfellas. Because he isn't sophisticated enough to be a good crime boss. He's more like Dumb and Dumber. He needs a little clown car and a little bump, bump, bump. McDonald's was right for him. He just needed to be the Ronald McDonald's assistant. Donnie Diaper, so the only thing he's a threat to is a Big Mac. And it's one of those things we've got to learn as a country. Yeah, it sucks, but I think when you have that low of a turnout of an election, and compared, Biden got 81 votes. He caught 81 votes last year, or in 2020, versus Harris only got 66 million votes. 15 million Democrats stayed home. 15 million. Had Harris even gotten close to how many votes Biden got, because Trump actually got less too. He only got 71 million this year versus 74 in 2020. And so if Harris would have caught 95% of the votes that Biden captured in 2020, she didn't have to do as good she'd gotten in the mid to upper 70s, she wins this for going away. So for whatever reason, and I think a lot of it had to do with misogyny. I think a lot of it had to do with a short ramp up time. One of the benefits of running a full primary and having that full year is there's a huge courtship. There's a huge momentum shift when you come out of a primary and you've already campaigned for 4 or 5 months, and then you get the summer bump and then the convention bump. And she literally got nominated right before the convention. I gave her very little building time. I think she did a very admirable job. I think she did an amazing job just to catch 66 million votes. I don't think there was anything Harris could have done. I don't think there's anything Joe Biden could have done. They just made a bad decision. You know, the Joe couldn't have won either. I think Joe would have gotten blown out. I think
he would have got blown out. Yeah,
I don't even think he would have gotten to 66 million. I think people were tired of him. And I think what needed to happen was Joe needed to not declare not to run in 2023, late 23, early 24.
Exactly.
Let us have a full campaign season. Let us have a full ramp up season. Let other people run. Let Harris run. Let other people run. Whoever wins gets to be the standard bearer of the party. And because there's a good chance Harris still would have won the nomination. I think that a lot of people that voted for Joe voted for Harris in the primary. And I think many people in 2020 voted for Harris just as much as they voted for Joe. And I just think when the optics of that switchover and the short get to know you period, she didn't get any grace. She had to run full bore, a full campaign, in a fraction, a third or fourth of the time. That's a big ask. That would be tough for you.
Yeah.
You know, as somebody that's run for office and have gotten the nomination before, that primary time is valuable grassroots building time. You were able to do a lot of things during that period of time to build your campaign. And I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but
you nailed it right on the head, Jenny. I mean, I don't want to say Biden should have, because the party played with the hands they were given at the time. But I think I admire President Biden for doing what he did and for also stepping aside when he really knew he needed to step aside. You know, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Should he have done it earlier, like you said? Yeah. But, you know, anytime you lose something, you always second guess all the decisions you made. You make. So I agree with you, Jenny. I mean, this is worse just for me, and I know we'll talk about this on all of our shows for probably the next couple of weeks. This feels like the Dallas Cowboys lost the Super Bowl because they dropped the pass in the end zone.
Right. It feels like a fumble. It doesn't feel like a loss as much as it feels like we caused this as Democrats.
Exactly.
And I truly felt like that. My always hope when Biden ran the first time is his intention was to retire from politics. It really opened the gateway up for Harris to be the president in waiting. And I think he did, and then he kind of got greedy.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of the problems with politics is not really having a good plan in place for succession.
Yep.
And I think it was a huge error on the Biden campaign. But we are up against our first break, and we'll be right back with some more Two Queers in a Truck. Hey, everybody. You can catch us on your favorite audio podcast platform, Spotify, and all Apple Store, the Google machine, and whoever else does podcasts. We're on there. We broke in, and we're staying. So enjoy the Two Queers in a Truck on your favorite audio podcast platform. Thanks for listening or watching.
Bye, boo. Happy Pride.
Hey, we are back. But I think that the Democrat Party is not the most disciplined party in the world. The Republicans are more disciplined than we are. One of the things we're going to have to learn is we're going to have to play the game better. Don't hate the game, hate the player. And because the game is the game. The game of the rules of politics, all's fair in love and war in politics. And it's really Marcus of Queensberry rules. Fucking anything goes. Like the gentleman's reach around up between the legs is valid in this type of arena. And Democrats are going to have to quit playing by a set of rules that the Republicans refuse to do.
Yeah.
And kudos to the Republicans for sticking to their fucking game plan with a shitty candidate. Literally a shitty candidate. Like, I mean, you know, Donnie Pants Shitter is probably he's the worst candidate they've had in a generation. And he's decrepit now. He looks like a rotting orange. Like he looks like a steaming pile of cow poop on a pasture. And they still run him because they just trot him out there and let him do his stupid clown show because it works. They just Americans eat that shit up, the performative shit. And Democrats are going to have to get a little bit more performative. They're going to have to get a little bit more rough and tumble. In this instant information age where camera time matters and what you say matters, not what you do, we're going to have to realize what we say and what we do may not need to match up.
Yeah.
Like the old Al Davis, the late great Al Davis said, just win, baby. Just win, baby. And I think we're going to have to develop a little bit of that mentality. I think we're going to have to fight fire with fire a little bit. We can still keep it classy, but we can still fuck with them a little bit. We still can. We still have to think better. We still have to be better as a party, but we have to gameplay a little bit more because honestly, we didn't energize our own base. We fucking blew it. Like if you're 15 million votes off, you did something wrong.
Yeah. I
don't know what it is. I think it's a combination of things. I also think the Republicans did a lot of things right. And thank God on the state level in North Carolina, they're incompetent.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could have handled Mark Robinson being governor. I don't think anybody else could either. He got blown out last night. Like he got that got a call like at 9:00, 9:30. Like he got smoked. And Jeff Jackson, his got called not too much longer after that.
Yeah.
So obviously there is sane voters. But what does it say? It says that we've got to run very specific. They also Republicans ran really shitty candidates. Yeah. Mark Robinson had no chance. He was sloppy. He was really stupid. Like he's not even charming in the least. I would give Trump can be funny at times. He can say some things that are fairly witty for him. You know, like I'm not so sure he didn't intend it to be funny when he said, I got a concept of a plan. Yeah, people kind of go, oh, you know, he's kind of a dumbass, but you know, he's our dumbass kind of thing. And I think there's so much we can learn from Republicans as far as tactics. I think we need to develop better think tanks. I think we need to develop better strategies. I think we need to figure out how to master the art of social media. I think we need to do a lot of things we're doing on this show, which is fuck with people. Fuck with people.
Exactly.
Back. Call them sissies. call them weirdos. You know, that part of the campaign, I noticed with Harris, they backed up a little bit. And I'm like, but Republicans didn't back that up. They kept calling, you know, Tim Walz Tampon Tim, and you know, he prefers the gays, and they you know, we needed to really exploited. I think the official campaign needed to do a better job of highlighting how crazy they are.
Mhm.
I think they needed to run some more funnier commercials.
Yeah.
I do like the patriotism that the Harris campaign drew out, but I think it needed to be alternated with lampooning how ridiculous Vance is and how
Mhm.
ridiculous Trump is, and actually some of the party leaders like MTG,
Yeah.
and put a sound bite, if I can talk,
Mhm.
of her indictment line when she was trying to say
Yeah.
indictment. I just
Mhm.
put some of her dumbest, like her, when she had the hot mic moment, she
Mhm.
goes, you know, give me the good stuff, not the cheap screw top stuff,
Mhm.
for the wine. She was doing a
Yeah.
wine order while she was standing next to a mic on the House floor.
Mhm.
I think you just rip, you know, I just think you rip her and paint her as the face of the party and go, when you were like
Mhm.
this, you get this.
Exactly.
And you take the
Mhm.
dumbest, you take a picture of Eight Head and the
Mhm.
little girl that he trafficked on his jet, and
Mhm.
I think you just paint a picture of them being all creepers, pedophiles, losers, and you just keep that on loop. You play it
Mhm.
nationally in all different markets, and you use their dumbest people against them. Bobo Berbert and the theater thing. I think you just,
Mhm.
because they lean into some of their stupid. I mean,
Mhm.
Trump over this last weekend was making the hand job and blow job motions on a microphone.
Mhm. Yeah. That should have been a commercial.
But he
Mhm.
leaned into it. He
Yeah.
posed with the garbage truck after making the garbage line, which was definitely a slap towards Puerto Rican, but it didn't make a difference
Mhm.
for him. No, it didn't hurt him at all.
Mhm.
He still got
Yeah.
71 million votes. He still cleared the 70 million mark.
Mhm.
And it's because people regard aggression in this country. We're
Mhm.
an aggressive country. We are a young, aggressive, Rambo, let's get you some, yeehaw, we're big balls, a cowtown type country. We bomb first and ask questions later. And you need political candidates that are kind of that way,
Mhm.
especially on the national level, and whether it's Congress, president, whatever. We want a Ronnie Reagan type guy. We want that person. We want a Tom Cruise. We want the fucking flaming swords. We want the fucking. We don't care if JD Vance wears a dress, as long as he embraces his broness, And
Mhm.
I think Democrats kind of understand that, but they kind of don't. The sweet moment with Tim Walz and his son was really cool. Don't win votes. It
Mhm.
don't win votes, and it should. But we also live in a country that loves Jackass.
Yeah.
We love shows like that. We love fart and dick jokes. We like
Mhm.
we're such an immature nation, and we're such an uncouth nation that we've got Democrats just infuriate me. And some positive news. A male transgender attorney named Chase Strango has been. He's the first trans attorney to get to argue a case in front of the Supreme Court. He will make his
Mhm.
debut on December 4th. He is doing the U.S. versus Skermeti, a case that will decide transgender rights in the country for years to come. Strangio is the co-director of the American Civil Liberties Unit, LGBTQ and HIV project. He's been instrumental in winning a lot of trans-related battles. He's been nothing short of brilliant in his career. And I've followed him for a long time. He's actually a very intelligent human being and a phenomenal attorney. He's one of ACLU's rising stars and has been on the radar in the political scene, for the last probably 5 or 6 years. Also, too, Sarah McBride is the first openly transgender woman or a transgender person to be elected to the National Congress. She won a seat in the House of Representatives, representing Delaware, Biden's home state. Kudos to Delaware and Sarah McBride for parlaying a very good career. She was a keynote speaker for Hillary Clinton in 2016 and has written a best-selling book, Tomorrow Can Be Different. And I've actually had the opportunity to meet her in 2017 when I was testifying to the Texas Congress. And she's an amazing woman, very brilliant. She'll be great in Congress. I'd love to see her and MTG go at it. It's going to be exciting, because she's really smart. Sarah's really smart. MTG, not so much. And it's going to be one of those bless your heart type moments when they finally, because MTG hates transgender women, which is really strange because I'm 99% sure MTG has a penis. But anyway, just see the way she walks. Tell me she doesn't have one. As somebody that was born with,
she either has a penis or she's wearing a strap on underneath those pants, or I don't know.
Yeah, she's probably using that on Matt Gaetz. And for sure Mike Johnson. Yeah. I mean, that's how he got the nomination, is he took it for the team. I mean, like his little man friend that was his adopted son that all of a sudden disappeared. Which is really weird because Matt Gaetz had the same thing with I can't remember what his name was, but he just all of a sudden just went just disappeared. I'm like, oh. But congratulations to Chase for getting that opportunity. That's a career and probably a lifetime accomplishment that he's very excited about. And I know that he's talked about it. And with Sarah McBride and culminating into a successful political career. And I'm excited for her and to see what she does in the next 2 years. I think she's going to be great. I think she's going to be kind of the next AOC. But we are up against our second break. And we'll come back with some more Two Queers in the Track.
Hey, thanks for watching Two Queers in the Track. And Christian and I just blathering on about craziness in the world today. Y'all be safe out there. There is a lot of Republicans on the road. That's right. Have a good week. Bye.
And we are back. But I got to talk about Jeff Jackson just vanquishing fucking dickhead Dan Bishop. I'm going to tell you something. I hope this is the end of Dan Bishop's political career. I really hope now that Dom Daddy Jeff Jackson just friggin' owned him in this election. I really hope that this is Dan Bishop's swan song. I hope he goes into retirement and, goes back under the bridge in which he came from. And we don't have to see him again. I just assume not see his face. I could care less if I don't care if he's involved in party politics. I just don't want to see him run for office again. He's incompetent. He's not been very successful since he did the whole bathroom thing. And it was an openly bigoted, stupid thing to do. It cost the governor his job. I don't think Roy Cooper would have ever gotten elected in 2016 had they not done something that stupid. It cost the state. It cost so many jobs. It was unnecessary. It damaged, and it's still recovering, the film industry in North Carolina, the sporting industry. It hurt us. It hurt us in a business sense that it took us years to attract large companies back. And it took Cooper 4 years, honestly, to do it. We just recently, in the last 3 or 4 years, started to get the Apple computers and those people to consider us again because we don't have bathroom fetishes as our leaders. Weirdos that probably creep around in the stalls and look in the cracks, and they're that weird. And what we got to do as Democrats is we got to highlight that they're the ones obsessed with people's genitalia. And because it is creepy. I mean, they talk about gay people and trans people all the time. At one point, do we just got to say, and just really just, this has got to be one of these times where you need to be leaning in on the mic when you're testifying and go, what is the deal with y'all? Like, what is the deal? I would love to see this on like a congressional floor where one of the queer Democrats, hopefully Sarah McBride, I don't know if she would, but would just lean in the mic when they're going off about a transgender person or a gay person and go, what's the deal with y'all? Why are y'all so obsessed with us? Does he want to be us?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you want? Is it really that you just like the Moms for Liberty president that was in a lesbian relationship for years, and that her husband's a rapist? You go, is it just the fact that we go out and live our life and you just don't, or you do, but you do it behind closed doors? And you're jealous that we live our life out loud and proud. What is it about us? Why are you so obsessed with our genitalia? Like, I'm not obsessed with yours. I don't want to think about damn Bishop's junk. Like, no, I'm not going to go there. And definitely not Trump's. Shriveled hangs to the left a little bit. Like he's been in cold water, according to Melania.
That makes me
make you lose weight faster than anorexia. I can just tell you. You won't need breakfast this morning. But but it would be like, like they're obsessed because, like a couple weeks ago when he was talking and droning on about Arnold Palmer's 9-iron, he went on and on about a dead man's penis size and how big he was, which I've never heard that. I don't really want to think about Arnold Palmer that way. And not that he wasn't an attractive man. He just, he's like everybody's grandpa, like I don't want to think about my grandpa schlong either. And it's just weird. That kind of shit's just weird to me. Like it's so creepy. And I think that's what we got to do is we got to sue the shit out of them with this Garmetti case. They're really going after. We need to do class action suit after class action suit, just like the Texas guy does. As the AG, we just need to sue them into oblivion and lock everything up for 4 years.
Yeah, I agree.
And just do the same tactics they do and sue them to dissolve straight marriages.
Yep.
Because straight marriages aren't normal and they ain't modern. And procreation is dangerous to the environment. And we just need to, and do outrageous lawsuits like that. We could end abortion by everybody having to be in same-sex marriages. And that you only procreate in a lab, as the Lord wanted us to. And honestly, I think as kooky as that sounds, it would be worse spending millions of dollars and bringing a case up to the Supreme Court and trying to force homosexual relationships only. Why not? They do that same kind of shit. And I think the same thing with everything. I think we just sue them and sue them again and sue them again about environmental issues. Every time they change environmental, lock them up in court. Lock these fuckers up in the court and file frivolous law. That's what Trump does. He locks you up in court in business His business strategy is locking, when he doesn't pay vendors, contractors that build his sleazy golf motels, for example, his first answer is, I've got 150 attorneys on retainer. What are you going to do? Sue me? And they take him to court because he locks them up forever and he plays the long game. And ultimately he wears them down to where they settle because they run out of attorney money because he didn't pay them on anything. So the money they were out, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, and as a small business person, it's devastating. And then he locks them up to where he runs up the fees of an attorney, which every time you call an attorney, every time you communicate with an attorney, it's a billable hour right there. Just you get a gazenta every time, and every time they go to court, you got to pay. And by the time it's 2 or 3 years down the road, you've got $50,000 to $100,000 legal fees, and you still didn't get your money. And he's like, prove it. And he's done this for decades. We do the same thing. We do the same thing to them. We fight fire. We become the most litigious, most aggressive political movement, and we out MAGA the MAGAs. And we either build it up or burn it down. Yeah. And if we do that, and if as a group we set up these think tanks and we just go, okay, how do we fuck with them?
Yeah.
I have said this, you've said this for a long time. Fucking time to get locked and loaded.
Yeah.
You know, it's go time, y'all. Like, if we want to stop losing, because our base, I don't care what we say. Oh, they like this when we go high. Sure, we did. We lost 15 million Democrats in the process. 15 million Democrats. Yep. And then you go over the Republican side because he got less votes too, but not as low of a drop as we got.
Yep.
We dropped ourselves in the shit market, you know. But the good thing is we can learn from this. Like this, to me, sometimes a loss is sometimes you got to lose to win. I would rather lose now, and for the next midterms and presidential elections and time to time, and by the time the Generation Z gets old enough to be a political force, is just rip ass for the next decade. I think it's a learning experience. I thought we learned a lesson from 2016. We apparently didn't. And we've said this on the show many times that playing it safe loses. And old Vegas saying, scared money always loses.
Yeah.
I mean, and plus, ripping on Republicans is fun. Pissing them off. They've got the most thin skin. Yeah. You do it all the time. You rip the MAGAs on our page, on our coffee page, and you got them so incensed that all they can do is go, F you. And they finally just break down. They're so mad, and they go away because they're like children. Oh, you hurt my feelings. You know, I'm like, well, dipshit, you know, stop running your mouth.
Yeah.
If you don't like gay people, don't come on a gay person's side. Don't come on a two queers on the truck side and be upset that two queers are on it. I mean, at the end of the day, if you are that fucking homophobic, which I don't think a lot of those guys are homophobic, I think they're very homo. Yeah. They could just drop off the phobic part. And I think that they've swam in, a lot of these people have swam in the penis pool, if you know what I mean. and I think they're doing backstroking and going, the water's fine. That's right. Because you can't tell me that Mike Johnson hasn't dabbled. I mean, allegedly. But some of these guys, Matt Gaetz, and his weird relationship with that one guy. And he just, especially with P. Diddy and all the allegations coming out, you know, how many of these people are P. Diddy's?
Exactly.
How many are live a P. Diddy lifestyle where he had young boys, young girls, he had a little P. Diddy ate from the variety pack, that was for sure, and really, really gross and obscene ways. But you just wonder if a lot of these MAGAs are like this. But we are at the end of the show, and we will dance on out. And hey, guys, have a great week. We're in the holiday season. We're going to rip it up with some new themes and some new shows on both platforms, and we're going to have a good time. We're going to party like it's
Amen.
Again. Yeah. And fuck MAGAs. Bye, baby.
That's right. Bye, boo. Watching. Here we go.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for watching and listening over the years. And we're going to keep coming. We're going to go harder. I just promise you that we're going to have some fun. Hey, if it's going to burn down all around us, we might as well bring the marshmallows and the s'mores. But anyway, it is the holiday season. Be safe out there. And we'll see you next week. Bye, boo.
Bye, boo.
Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for watching us on Two Queers in a Truck. Don't forget, you can watch us anytime at your leisure on our video podcast platforms like Facebook and YouTube. But you can also listen to us, either this show or any of our past shows, on our audio podcast platforms like Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and all of the other ones. So once again, thank you for watching Two Queers in a Truck. I hope you enjoy our show.